Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Thursday the 6th of April. So just a pre-warning before I move on and do the outlook. Tomorrow is a bank holiday in the UK here, as is Monday, so I won't be around tomorrow on Monday. Around about 40% of the volume goes through the London market, so when they're on a bank holiday it is normally quite quiet. Now that doesn't say there won't be movement, and we've got non-farm payrolls tomorrow afternoon, so we could see some volatility kicking around that, but it certainly won't be for me. I shall leave the day alone, or 2 days alone, so that's Monday and Friday, bank holidays in the UK. However, today let's have a look at the news events that are coming through today, Thursday the 6th. Then here we go. We've got some Canadian data. In fact, that's unusual. We've got the Canadian data coming out there on Thursday. It's probably because there's a bank holiday on Friday then. So there's effectively their non-farms coming out a day early. So, and as you can see, tomorrow we've got the US non-farms. So quiet day on the front here. Let me just check my other news services. Yes, so we have got a load of final PMI data for the construction numbers for France, Germany and the UK coming out later with 8:30 and 9:30. So yeah, that's all we got there. We've got the Canadian employment data, as I've mentioned, and then we've got one Fed speaker at the moment, Fed Bullard, speaking at 3 o'clock. So that is it. If you're an oil trader, maybe at 6 o'clock this evening, you might see a bit of volatility around oil as we get the US Baker Hughes total rig count, but it's pretty low value at the best of times. Right. On that note, let's move on to the technical, starting off with the euro dollar. Looking at it from a daily picture first, and well, if I got the quarterlies, I'm just looking. I've got the quarterlies still on here. So we had to bounce off the quarterly pivot there, and it's then gone up, done this top, and then pulled off, and not really going too well at all now. I did suggest yesterday I'd like to see a bounce off the pivot. It did bounce off the pivot, but the risk was with the lower high that was given to us on the way that it might not do too much, and it didn't do too much. In fact, it rolled over to the downside. Again, we've seen these sort of moves around 3 o'clock. Well, there was news in the US around that sort of time on those bars, so the reaction then was sell off the euro. Currently then it's very iffy where it sits at the moment. if it breaks the pivot, it could be on for the R1 and some more. With all the upside action going on, I can see some downside potential with the S1 bit closer, maybe even an underside of the pivot. So there is that potential. We've already seen some lower highs kicking through here, so the original trend that was running up here, the short-term trend, has been broken. It's just what it does around these levels. I don't really like it at all, and probably, well, I say there's no probably about it. I won't be trading that. Pound dollar, pound, well, again, yes, up until yesterday had been pushing up steeply there until yesterday, and then it came down again at afternoon bar there. We're seeing more volatility in the afternoons than we are in the mornings at the moment, so might have to change a little bit of trading style to account for that. But the pound at the moment, again, lower highs amongst all of this, but if it gets back above the pivot, maybe the R1. If it fails in the pivot, well, the S1, but overall I'd rather be long than short on this market. So I will only take the long side if it was to occur, and maybe up towards the R1. US dollar yen, I was warning someone yesterday that the yen, the general picture is running downwards here. There is some concern starting to build, and I've read quite a bit about it in terms of the unwinding of the carry trades might occur again. We're seeing we've got a different central bank, head of central bank in Japan, and things are different. Inflation's still running high. Things might change a little bit, and we could just see a bit of a higher interest rate at some stage on the yen. But either way, it might just shake out some of the carries. For now, though, we're sitting here. It is looking that it could do better. The yen, and with the shakeout of a carry, that would bring the dollar value down, strengthen the yen. This at the moment, the yen is weakening at this short term here. Has put a higher low in, but again, my preference is opposite to the way the short term direction's going here. I'm much more interested in the short side of this, but it could end up in just a choppy old morning. Aussie dollar is lacking a clarity in amongst many of these. The Aussie dollar I still prefer to the downside, sort of seeing opportunities yesterday. The 4-hourly chart here gave us a downside. We did see some downside. We also saw a rally kicking in there. We saw an early downside right the way through, down to its S2, a bit of a more unusual. We're seeing it pushing back at the moment. Maybe a reversal would give us anything post 8 o'clock here. Could give us a run back down towards the S1. I like it on the bigger time frames. As I said, I'm really looking for this bearish channel to break to the downside at some stage. US dollar CAD. He says, there we go, we click on this. This is a bit still rising a little bit at the moment, so it's performing a little bit of a flag as well, but not so clear on the daily. It's a little bit clearer on the shorter time frame, but struggling at the moment to do too much. There we go, it's rolling back, but it seems to be a rising channel it's falling back into. So there is chance it's already hit the daily pivot, but it could come back towards that area. Maybe even as low as the in fact, if I was trading this, I'd probably look over the lows towards here, which really doesn't give it a lot of meat on the bone there. Now if it breaks out, then it starts becoming a bit more positive. Now there was this spike here, and I should really take account of it, but there are times when you look at it and it didn't really close below there, but all the same, it looks like a rising, as I say, channel in a falling market. New Zealand dollar, US, nothing there. Euro yen, so we start getting into these other pairs, and really I'm scratching on these. The Euro Aussie might be one for the downside a little bit, but the bigger picture has been pretty much upside here. So more of a struggle to see what will happen here. It's a bit of another one of these each way bets in terms of a break of the highs here. It gives us the R1 and gives us the bigger trend. The short side could see us running down towards, and I say towards because it's quite a long way down there. The pivots are quite spread out here, but towards the S1, may even be a halfway move. Euro CAD, this one I am sort of interested in, and I'm sort of looking carefully at, but it's at this stage it's a bit of a mess. It's just come from daily wise. It's been dancing around these highs here. Yesterday it gave another move to the downside here. Short term the structure's lower highs, lower lows largely, but we sort of got this funny old retrace that's occurred, and then it's sort of coming off of that again. So really watching this at the moment, see what happens post 8 o'clock. Hasn't quite caught the daily pivot, but there's scope for this to roll on down some more. So that's the short list there. Other pairings, there's not a great deal. It's a repeat of the dollar pairs effectively. The pound yen, the euro yen, and every other yen are all sitting very similar in terms of price action. There's no benefits of any of them at the moment. Aussie yen So really struggling out there. Morning in. Really struggling out there for anything else on the Forex market. Looking across a little bit further out then and looking at gold first. And let's just look on the dailies here. So gold did make a little pitch a new high yesterday, selling off again at the moment, but it's really a case of picking your fights carefully here. It's really quite ugly on this hourly, and yes, it could push back up there, but don't really like it at all. I think the overall picture is still bullish, but short term it's not a good trade. Oh, yesterday, well, it's dilly-dallying now. This sort of big gap up there must be on people's mind to short into the gap. It has put little lower highs kicking through here and looking a little bit on the softer side, but it again, with what it's done, it's probably worth waiting to see. Have some patience on it. The CSI 300 in equity markets, let's come into dailies for this. It's actually closed down on its open, so it sort of gapped down and back filling, but it was slightly down, but still, as I say, structurally it's changed. It looks like it's changed trend a little bit more and still got potential. The Nikkei, on the other hand, it gapped down and stayed down, and what was looking a couple of days ago like quite a bullish market has gone quite ugly very quickly. Nifty 50, if you're following this is continuing to recover at the moment. As I said, it has put the higher lows in there, yet to break the trend. A break of the trend would give it much more strength to the upside. I think we'd see more buyers coming through. The S&Ps, well, 2 down days on the trot now. We could be heading back. This, as I say, this is a quarterly pivot. Could be heading back for that quarterly pivot. Let's just put the monthly pivot on and hide the quarterly for a moment. The monthly is even lower, so there's a couple of pivots that could draw the price down. There's a lot of uncertainty in these markets, and well, it's being reflected in price action. Dow Jones holding up better, and maybe there's the money run, and the Nasdaq even better. However, even that's come off the highs there, and looking a bit iffy at the moment. Short term, yeah, it's really quite ugly at the moment. The short term, again, we're sort of seeing these sort of 2-3 o'clock moves, and then that's it, done. So looking ugly there. Okay, the DAX, who's the DAX? It did sell off yesterday. Lower high coming through on the short time frames, kicking through there just about. There it is. That was pre-market. It just carried on rolling off. It hit the S1, ran onto the S2. I think I mentioned this actually. I would have mentioned this. A break of the S1. We'll see it to the S2, and it certainly has. It's just starting to move again on the new hour here, dancing around a little bit volatile, bit ugly. We'll see what it does, but we could see a move from the underside of the pivot there back down, so I think people will be watching that. It'll be a nice little near-term double top. Just see, could get a reaction to the downside. Just looking a bit soft on the short time frame. Bigger time frame though, really it's a buyer's market, and it's a case of maybe being patient and waiting for something to set up better. The FTSE okay, yesterday was positive. It's whether it can again keep the momentum here at the moment. It's given it, we're getting a little bit of a push through, and again high lows, high highs through here, reasonably solid. Right, that's pretty much it for me today. I won't be looking at Bitcoin tomorrow, so I'll have a quick look at Bitcoin today just to see where we are with Bitcoin. No surprise really, still in this consolidation phase. Other markets are doing slightly better, or have been doing slightly better. Ethereum ran up again yesterday, but is off this morning, and actually most of the other markets are just down today. Ripple is, or has been down for a number of days here. It's not really managing much of a bounce off its monthly pivot here, but looked like it was yesterday, but it has stalled. On that note, I wish you a great long weekend if you're taking it, and if you're not, well, good luck. Good luck out there. Bye for now, guys.